Don't ever doubt you'll be a someone. Always go for what you want. Get up and put your purpose on. Get up, feel the sun shining on your face. Believe that you deserve it all. Put in the work and you will win the far. This is my show and tell. So tell me, are you ready to get it on? So tell me, yeah. So tell me, are you ready? So tell me, are you ready for me? So tell me, are you ready? Tell me, are you ready?
What's up, y'all? It's Lauren Takes Wilson. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel if you're already a subscriber, and welcome to my channel if this is your first time. All right, today let's cut to it. We're going to be talking about Xscape's Traces of My Lipstick album. Now, someone told me before, could I do a review on this? Because I did a review on their first album. I believe their first album is called Hummin' Coming At You. And then I did a review on Off the Hook. And then someone was like, can you do Traces of My Lipstick? Now, I was going to do it, but I wanted to, do it in due time. So now I feel like this is the perfect time. I have my copy of the album with the hype sticker on it. Now, y'all know how I feel about CDs, vinyls, and cassettes, and all of those kind of things, all those memorabilia things. I don't care if it's a VCD, a long form, a 8-track. If it's an artist that I like, I want it, and I'm going to figure out how to play it. There's something about having the physical copy, because one day So Def could decide to sell all of their music and it all could disappear off of the digital platforms, and then we'll be stuck with nothing but CDs. But not stuck with them, but y'all know what I mean. But that's a whole nother conversation where I'm going to gush over why I feel like CDs and physical copies of any sort, DVDs, anything, will always be valuable and important. Anyway, so Xscape, Traces of My Lipstick. This is Xscape's third album, and this album was released in 1998. Of course, what a good year. A lot of sweet, hard-hitting albums and singles released in 1998. Let me just refresh your memory real quick. This album really shows the growth and the evolution of Xscape from the time that they came out with the look of Hummin' Coming At Ya and going into Off the Hook, which was still like an edgy type of look. Still, fly and very feminine. And then this is when they really blossomed and got really feminine. What I'm going to talk about every track by track. So let's get into the All About Me intro.
I wanna see which posse can dance the best. It should be easy cause the beat is fresh now. I wanna see which posse can dance the best. It should be easy cause the beat is fresh now. Every time you leave, the thought is left in my head. That you gotta go home to be with somebody else. Now even though I'm sick and tired of being alone, I still gotta ask myself if what I'm doing is wrong. And what about you? What about you? Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? And you tell her the truth. Does she know where you go when you leave that you're always with me? And it's all about you. Does she know it won't be long before she's out the door? I live number one, and it's all about me.
Bop. Yeah, they did what they needed to do for that intro. For this intro, I hope I'm not the only person that wished that was a whole full-length song. Like, y'all know what I'm talking about. If you haven't heard the album, I don't want to spoil it, but listen to the album. But it's an intro that the song deserved to have. Like, I wish it was like it was a bonus track, or it was a B-side, or it was something where we can just go back and have it and go out. We have the full-length song, but the All About Me song is really good. You have Latasha singing lead vocals on that song. And I don't know, in my opinion, specifically, not because the SWV show is out, the SWV and Xscape show is out, but if you are a Xscape fan or SWV fan, especially Xscape, you know who sang what and what went down and all of those things. So in this album, I felt like Latasha had more verses for sure on this album for whatever reason. But hey, she has a lovely voice. And so does all of the girls in the group. And that's what I love about Xscape, because every girl can sing and every girl can hold her own in this group. That's what it's about. Now, My Little Secret. I believe My Little Secret was one of the first official singles for the album. Sorry, y'all gonna have to forgive all the noise in the background. They are doing something on the roof and something outside, so please forgive me for the noise. But bear with me. But My Little Secret, I know there was like another single. I think Am I Dreaming was technically the start of the era, because Am I Dreaming is on the album, but it was also a song on another soundtrack that they did, but it ended up on the album. But I always think that way when it comes to the start of an era for an artist or a group. Sorry about that, y'all. I always feel like that when it comes to starting the era of an artist or a group. There's always, even if the song landed on the soundtrack, but if the song lands on an album, whenever the song was released, that's the start of that era. And that's what I believe. So I believe the start of Traces on My Lipstick started when Am I Dreaming was released. But we'll get into that song. That's another song on the album that's later on the album. But My Little Secret is the first official single, and you have classically Candy singing the lead verses on that song. So I think this is one of the most memorable Xscape songs. I remember being very, very, very small, a very young child. And yeah, this song being on the radio, my aunties having the CD and playing it, and the video definitely coming on. And I didn't realize how sexy the video was, obviously, until now. Watching it as an adult now, the video is very sexy, especially Candy. I know I can't be the only one. Now, Softest Place on Earth. This song really showcases the growth and the evolution of Xscape vocally. Because when they first came out, you can tell that there were little girls, young girls, teenage girls. On this song, you can tell that they're women, young women. Or just women, because I feel like there were young women on Off the Hook coming into young womanhood. But they're straight up women on this record. The harmonies, the oohs, as soon as the song starts, off the Softest Place on Earth, and do you wanna fly? I can take you high. All those parts that they're doing, I mean, it really ties it all together. It really shows you that their growth and how they can come together vocally, and just their harmonies can be on one accord. 4-part harmony is just everything. I mean, you got your classic 3-part, but when the 4 and up, and Softest Place on Earth is one of my favorite songs off this album. Yes, and I believe Latasha is singing the verses on this record too, on this track. So, Do You Know What You're Doing to Me? Do You Know What You're Doing to Me? I feel like it's a organic Xscape song. Like if there was gonna be a Jermaine Dupri from So So Def that puts together a Xscape song, it probably would sound like Do You Know? Production wise, melodically, the choices of how the verses go melodically, the choices of how the choruses go melodically, it's straight up Xscape. If any other group sung this song, it would be like, that's in it. This song screams Xscape sound. Like, do you know what you do to me? Do you know what you do to me? Their hooks and their melodies always seem organic, like somebody had just came up with that. So you can tell that somebody just had came up with that. So yeah, that Do You Know, it's the beat, even the beat, it's like it could have almost had been a leftover from Off the Hook. Almost. Could have been. That's my point. One of those love songs, it it really spins off of the next track that comes after that, because I feel like when it comes to albums, you want your tracks to have a consistency to them. You know, you want an album full of different sounds or different tracks and different vibes, but you also want a consistency to it. And I feel like one of those love songs is very consistent to The Arms of the One Who Loves You. Perfect leading into that. But Candy, of course, is leading that. Beautiful song, very groovy, screams 1998. And it's not really dated. I feel like a lot of the music after like 95 started to sound more like all the 90s music to me is timeless, but specifically when the music started to sound more digital or more like there's more intricateness in it, and it started to sound like they wasn't beating on trash cans no more. If you know what I mean, if you watch my video on Monica's music and music around that time, I feel like especially around 98, that's when music started to really sound timeless. Like, if you go back and listen to some of the rap songs and watch some of the rap videos from 1998 and 99, it looked like it came out today. It sounds like it came out today. So, and the music that's out today, it's hit and miss. Yes. So, The Arms of the One Who Loves You. This is another one of my favorite singles off of this album. The video is beautiful. Again, you have Latasha singing the verses, and you have her sister, just like off of Who Can I Run To? Again, with consistency. Not only do you want to be consistent with your tracks and your albums, you want to be consistent with your album's formula. Another artist I feel like that's consistent with their album's formula is Mariah Carey. All her albums are the same in the sense of you are going to get the same type of tracks, meaning, trust me, there's going to be beautiful ballads. There's going to be at least one up-tempo song, one hip-hop influenced song. There's going to be some kind of gospel song on there, or some kind of big song that makes you feel very emotional. You know what I mean? Like her albums always reminds me of like movie scores. Like, it's going to be the same. It's gonna take you from the roots, from the top to the bottom. There's never going to be a track out of place on a Mariah Carey album. Every album is gonna flow exactly the same, and it makes sense. That's why her albums sell. That's why they're enjoyable to listen to. Even in her, this is another video. I want to talk about Mariah's albums later, but you'll be able to tell as her music progresses. But anyway, with Xscape, it's no different. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, you have those girls singing Who Can I Run To, the sisters, and then you have them singing The Arms of the One Who Loves You. Like, what better tie off than that? So, I Will Always Love You is another one of those songs that it just has Xscape's juice all over it. Like, I couldn't hear any other female group that was out at this time sing this song. Like, I couldn't hear En Vogue sing this song. En Vogue was still technically together around 98, 97, 90, 96, 7, 8, yeah. I think it was EV3 maybe around 98, but En Vogue couldn't have. Nope. Who else? Allure? Nope. Dare I say it? SWV? It's not an SWV song. Like, if you want an SWV song, you need to go to BAM. You need to go to Brian Morgan, because he knows the SWV sound, not vocally, because every SWV vocally they have their own, like, all they need to do is sing a cappella, and they have their own sound. But as far as production-wise, BAM. So with I Will by Xscape, this So Def production, I know it's produced by Jermaine Dupri. All this stuff has to be. It just screams Xscape. Like, no other group could have done it. I believe Destiny's Child had just come out around this time. The No 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 was like being pushed as a single. They couldn't have sung I Will, because at this time, these pictures are very sexy. We're gonna have to go through this. See, look at all of these. Good Lord. Oh, wow. Yeah, all right. So, I almost forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, I Will is produced by Jermaine Dupri. So it's definitely an Xscape song. No one else could pull that off. I mean, just that part where that is standing out to me right now is Candy going, "You were the first to see my body." I'm like, oh my God, Xscape. I mean, just the little isms that they do, as individuals and as a group. It's just something very unique about Xscape that will never be able ever be able to be duplicated, and that's why it's important in any group, especially music groups, to have chemistry. Even though you hear about the drama, whatever, that's their business. Everybody's gonna have their own drama, but we cannot deny the chemistry between these four ladies. Cannot. Vocally, creatively, you cannot. Your Eyes, another Xscape jam, slow jam, and I believe Tamika is singing on a lot on this song. Who's leading? No, it's her sister, but on the hook you can hear Tamika a lot. This Tamika, in my opinion. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Okay, All I Need. That track is so hot because of the harmonies, the way that they're harmonizing in a jazzy kind of way and sliding their vocals. It's just mesmerizing, and it's just intoxicating, and it's just like ear candy. You just want to listen to it over and over and over again. That's why I really like All I Need. Can't you see your love is all I need? I was having a moment. Am I Dreaming? Getting back to Am I Dreaming? Am I Dreaming? I forget which soundtrack it is. If anybody knows, comment below. But the soundtrack that it ended up on, it's a different version. In the video, when you watch the video, the track, it's a different version. Like, it's the same beat, but it's alternate vocal, it's alternate verses and takes, if you will. Like, it just sounds like the ad libs are different and the verse is a little different, but it's sung the same. But the version that ended up on this album must be a specific mix for this Xscape album, probably because the original that they did, not the original, because obviously Am I Dreaming is a cover. My mom played it. I'm sure y'all's mom played it. So I love both versions. And when it comes to covers, I know Shaka Khan was viral recently because she said something about Mary J. Blige's covering Sweet Thing on her debut. When it comes to covers, you got to, it's not even about bringing it. It's about understanding what that artist was conveying and why it's a classic. Okay, why is Am I Dreaming such? Why did we feel it the way we felt it? Like our parents and their parent, whoever originally listened to it when it came out, why did they feel the way they felt when they heard it? What was the emotion? Like, what was it? You gotta break the song down. Like, why are they singing it like that? What was it? So when you are approaching a cover, that's what you got to think about. You can't just be like, well, I'm going to just go in there. I know the words and I know how the song go. You made me want to leave the one I'm with. No. You have to understand, why was Usher saying, you made me want to leave the one I'm with? You like, why was he, what was going on? What was going on? They're working out there. They're not talking to me, but they're doing work on the roof. What was going on to provoke the song to be created as such? And that's how you have to approach a song when you're covering it, almost as if it's original to you. So when they approached Am I Dreaming, they did that. And originally it had another group on it, I believe. I need to Google it. I wish I can Google it right now. What group was that was on Am I Dreaming? Wait, okay, so real quick. So yes, Am I Dreaming does have Old School on it and Key Sweat. But it's still alternate ad libs and takes. It's still alternate. But y'all know what I'm talking about when you watch the video and hear Xscape's album version. which is another boy band, and Xscape, which is, I love when bands mesh like this, when it's like a boy band and a girl band. Like, I wish Jagged Edge and Destiny's Child would have had a duet because they make so much sense like sonically and as groups. I just love when groups do that, period. So Old School and Xscape came together with Key Sweat and did Am I Dreaming. I'm not sure which soundtrack this was for, again. And I'm not sure if this ended up on Old School's album, but it probably did. And if it did, it's definitely the version with Xscape and Old School, obviously. But the version that landed on Xscape's album, Traces of My Lipstick, it's just them. No Key Sweat, no Old School. So the ad-libs and the verses are alternative to what's in the music video. And it's just a masterpiece. It's perfect. I love it. Like, the harmonies, the ad-libs, Latasha's ad-libs, her falsetto. Every girl had a part in the song. It's just, listen to it. The Runaround. Another Xscape classic. Come on, do I need to say more? Do I need to say more? Another song that could have easily been a leftover on Off the Hook. Or say, for instance, EPs were as popular as they are now back in 1998. Because back in 1998, EPs were popular, but under a different umbrella. You know, they used EPs for different things. Nowadays, your EP is your album, which is sad. But if there was like an EP released after Off the Hook, some of these songs, or the production to some of these songs, could have easily ended up on that EP. Imagine that, like a remix EP or an extension of Off the Hook. But yes, that's what makes the consistency of Xscape sound consistent. So Jermaine Dupri literally had probably a vision and knew what he wanted to hear from this group. He just knew. Whoever was running the show just knew, and they knew what they were doing. That's why their first 3 albums are consistent and they're all platinum. That's why. Because whatever formula that they had from their first album, it never changed from the second to this one. The only thing that probably changed is who was singing what. And obviously Latasha is singing more on this album. The first 2 albums is Candy. But as far as the formula of the song, the production, how it goes, the beats, all of those things, it's the same formula. It's the same recipe. Now, hold on. This is where Tiny gets to shine. Another Tamika in the group. The synchronicities in this group is just crazy. Not only do you got 2 Tamikas, but you got 2 sisters, 2 blood sisters. It's just like they almost were destiny, right? Anyhow, Tamika shines on that song because I believe she's singing the verses. And she's killing it. Going back to her singing Do You Want To on Off the Hook, she was sick, I heard, singing that, and she was killing it. So, Tamika and Tiny, sorry. So, Tiny, your vocals have always been top tier. I wish she would have gotten more songs, but this is why Xscape needs to make at least 1 more album or 2. And when they do, they better go to So Def, because only that magic could be created if it's the 4 of them with Jermaine Dupri. Because only Jermaine Dupri can come up with Xscape sound of today for them now. That would make sense, which will be, and if he sticks to the formula and just bring the production to today, it'll be another platinum album, I guarantee you. If he sticks to this formula and just brings the production to today and make the song content based off of where they are now, because they're not little women, they're grown women, they got children now, you know what I mean? Not saying they used to be drinking about sipping wine and sitting at the fireplace and I'm tired, just got off work. No, not that. What I'm saying is just make it relevant to what, like, they can still be talking about going to the club and having a good time, but I don't think they're gonna be talking about, you know, specific things that they were talking about on their first album. But even then, they never really talked about stuff that was truly immature. They always talked about mature topics. So again, Come on, y'all. Y'all need to get in the studio with Jermaine Dupri. That's the only way that shit gonna work. Oops, sorry. That's the only way it's probably gonna... Not the only way, but that's one of the ways. Because I believe that the girls are successful and great outside of Jermaine Dupri and Social Death, but come on, give us one more, y'all. Y'all kind of left us on a cliffhanger. Y'all have albums after this, but it's not the same. It's good, but it's not the same. Not because time has obviously went forward. That's not obviously. That's not what I'm saying. It's not the same. It's because hello, So Death need to be in the lab with them. So, the last track on this album is the reprise to All About Me. It's the continuation, and it literally, that's how it comes in. It comes in off of that ad-lib that you were left off on when the album started, and it just continues and then it goes to the end of the song. All that song needed was a bridge. They had another single on their hands. I promise. But this album, I would have to give it a 10 out of 10. And I'm not being biased. If I would have to say what Xscape's best album is so far, it would have to be Traces on My Lipstick. Because it shows you Xscape as a group in their fullness. You know, I couldn't say it's their first album because they were still maturing and growing. I couldn't say Just Kicking It was their best. It was a great debut. It was iconic. It's classic. I'm not trying to water down the magnitude of their debut, but I can't sit here and say it's their best because that means you have to take away Who Can I Run To? Well, we couldn't take away that era. So then can we say, is that Xscape's best, the Off the Hook era? No, because you still got The Arms of the One Who Love You and Am I Dreaming and My Little Secret, you know what I mean? And then The Softest Place on Earth, you know what I mean? Like, you got all of those other, this is their best so far. Y'all need to just light some candles and some sage and listen to this album on repeat and talk about it and talk about how y'all can make this in 2023. Not the same album, but obviously, you know, how I think of music is brand. It's branding. So talk about how we can get back to this branding. It's almost like Burger King having a conversation like, okay, we've been using this logo since, 2000 and now it's 2023 and retro is really in. Let's go back to using our retro logo, and that's going to bring a lot of people in. We're going to brand a lot of merchandise with our retro logoing, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to say, like, you know what? We don't want to replicate this, but we want to get to what even made this a thing, which is, I feel like, is possible. Yeah. Xscape, Traces of My Lipstick, featuring The Arms of the One Who Loves You, Am I Dreaming, and My Little Secret. Let's listen to it again. I'll see y'all in the next video. Y'all let me know what y'all want me to do next, what albums y'all have requested. But I can tell you, there's some Bruno Mars coming soon, some more Weekend coming soon, and maybe some SZA. Stay tuned. See y'all. All right, before we get into this album, let's look at the packaging. This is another reason why physical copies are important, because it's not like listening to the album and being able to experience the physical packaging, the hype sticker, the silhouette of the ladies. Like, that is so hot to me. Like, and of course, the back is very simple, but it's still cool. And then, like, they got the pictures that fold out. It's gonna be more in the video that I'm gonna, like, flip this little thing around, like, briefly, but look at Candy. Jesus, Candy has always been that girl. We got Tiny, Latasha, Tamika, Xscape. Look at that. Ooh, nice. Tamika, Candy. Ooh, Latasha, Tiny, Tamika. These pictures are just so unique and just high. I love the filters that they put over them too. It just enhances, like, the whole appeal. Candy. Tamika. Tiny. Tiny looks good right there. Latasha, the diva. Xscape. Great. This is just great. These are some nice pictures of the girls. Very nice. And the CD is really, the little print that they put on the CD is pretty cool too. I love like the CD, the different CD designs too. And that's why I like buying multiple copies of CDs too, because sometimes if it's a different edition, the cover may be different, or the CD print may be different, but this is what theirs look like. Pretty freaking cool. Pretty freaking cool. Look at the lips. Mwah. Feels like a personal love letter from Xscape. I feel like I've just been kissed by the whole group. I'm elated.